Hi, class. Professor Chin here. These are some strange times. So I wanted to send out this video, first and foremost, just to express my condolences, my sympathy for all of us, really, especially those of you who may have been more directly impacted by what happened yesterday on campus. And so, in particular, though, I also wanted to follow up with all of you. We went through a pretty unique experience together, and all being in lockdown. All kind of being in that same room when one of the scariest things that can happen, what was occurring, not far at all from where we sat. So I want to express a little bit of regret at not being a better leader to all of you during that time. I know I felt a little underprepared to address the situation at hand, and I appreciate the class all cooperating with my instruction and giving good ideas to one another, and keeping the spirit as light as it can be in these kind of circumstances. But in addition to that, I also didn't want for that to be our last memory as a class community. We can't erase that happened. We're all coping with it in our own ways. But I didn't want for that to be our final impressions, and then just to never kind of address it or communicate with one another again. So practical matters, we'll follow up on all that. I really don't want anyone to be worrying about school matters at this time. I want you to focus on yourselves and your loved ones and kind of doing what you need to do in those regards. But the last piece of messaging I wanted to give you all, this is something I would have said at the end of class had events not transpired the way that they did. Something I always like to tell my students on the last day of class is that I consider it to be the case that once you're my student for life. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to assign you an extra annotated bibliography over break or have you interview anybody else for me or anything along those lines. What it does mean, though, is that if you have things where I might be able to be a helpful source of advice, and you're kind of thinking about your life, about your career, about your academic path, if you have advice you need when you're writing a personal statement for a scholarship opportunity or for a graduate program, whatever it might be, don't be a stranger. I'm here to be a resource. I'm here to be in touch. I love staying in touch with students in general. If you need a letter of recommendation for something, please feel free to be in contact. But with all that said, I think it's a funny thing that we're in each other's lives for 15 weeks, and then that connection would be over. As far as I'm concerned, it's not over. But please feel free to still be in contact. I'd love to hear from folks. Sorry. I wish you all the best in this challenging time and whatever end of the year plans you might have. And hopefully we will all be in touch down the road. All right. Thanks, everyone.